Hey family, we back again. Another McKinnen Mondays. Hope you guys had a good weekend. We are now getting deeper and deeper into the text. Again, it's available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles online. We are starting to get into the thick of things. Molly is really exploring, growing as a person, and exploring even more. So again, hope you guys are doing well. Also on your socials, Dr. Melchris2 is where you can find me on Instagram. Please comment, like, subscribe on YouTube. So let's jump right into it. This is a shorter one, but it's very impactful and very effective. So here we go. He said, mother heard that your family were really evil people and that you need to stay away from them and never to speak to them because they could put a curse on you. But she found that those were urban myths, so I definitely set the record straight. I responded, that's a sigh of relief. He comments, well, the only thing that I'm not sure of is the wedding. I don't know if she's coming to the wedding. What do you mean? He says, that's exactly what she said because she's worried that if someone finds out she attends, that she could lose her job. So at this moment, Molly is talking to Brian. Brian is talking about his mother, and they're discussing what their mom thought of them and what, the stories she heard around town, which of course were inaccurate and untrue. And that typically happens a lot, right? So myths without truth that can grow. Most of the time when people assume something, and this has happened since the beginning of time, where you have these urban myths or myths in general that these people are haunted or they're spooky or witches or any of these things, right? And I think it's a test to fear, discrimination, isolation. People come up with these things that are not true and are exaggerated to isolate and to invoke fear into others, to stay away and not to explore, not to get to know and find out what the truth is, because the truth sometimes, in most situations, according to a myth, the truth is relieving or it's shocking because you think, oh wow, you guys are regular people, or I didn't know that this because somebody said. And that's the thing, right? We went over this with my students in class today. I'm actually in my classroom. Trust but verify, right? Trust what that person is saying, but you also want to make sure to verify if it's true, just to make sure, because sometimes when people are saying things, you got that telephone thing, right? Where one person tells another person they miss out some key information. Then whatever information they have, they tell another person they miss out more key information because they got excited or they missed it or they weren't listening and worded, and maybe the other person didn't word it correctly. So now you got this dwindled down thing that's missing all the key components that make it true. And then that's something that happens a lot. It happens all the time, and then it gets carried. Well, this is what happened, and someone who knows the facts or did the research says, well, that's part of it, and it's only a small part. You're missing this, and this, which makes it a different type of story or makes it something different. So that's something that's open for discussion and always happens. By the way, English teachers, let me know where you're at. I can get you a copy. You can take a look at it and see if you want to make it a part of your curriculum to discuss with students, because these are things that happen in life that are good for discussionary topics, like especially in high school where you have rumors that spread and the information is missing. That's something that can be discussed in class. So back to this. So myths without truth can grow, and they grow in the wrong direction, right? They grow in saying, well, it was this big, or it was this, and this, when none of that even happened. And somebody just made one little piece up or missed some information, and more information is missed. And now they fill it with information that they think, because they're excited about it, or they want to isolate due to fear or control. And it's a lot of that in this book. So that's one thing. Protection versus loyalty. When you're loyal to somebody, you want to protect them, right? You want to do things to keep them safe. But there are times when you're keeping them too safe and you allow them to be brittle and you don't allow them to grow because you're trying to protect them and because you're loyal to them, right? So when you're protecting someone, you got to be mindful if they need the information. Is what I'm keeping from them or protecting them from going to help them or hurt them? And sometimes that hurt is temporary, but it allows that growth and allows them to harden and become a better person. So you want to make sure that that's what you're honoring, right? You want the best for them, but you have to sometimes not protect them as much. You don't want to have to protect them so much that they're soft and something happens that they can't take care of themselves. And I'm not even talking about physically, I'm talking about emotionally and mentally. You want the people that you're loyal to and you want to protect mentally, emotionally, and physically strong, right? So you have to allow them to go out there without protection to see how they fend for themselves in all three of those categories, because you are loyal to them and you want what's best for them and you want them to win. Because typically when you're loyal to somebody, you want them to be the best or get the best or all of these things. So sometimes protecting them can hinder that. Merging families can be tough. This is a big one. And it's important and it's relevant because you got two people who love each other and you got the families that meet, and you're gonna find that there's conflict because of the traditionary measures and what they typically do and how it's not the same, and that really does something to raising kids as well, but that's another topic we'll get into. But merging families are tough because each family has a different tradition and some don't adhere to the other and it causes a conflict, but in reality you're looking and opening up yourself to another tradition, which allows you to grow and to understand their culture and where they came from and maybe what they're into and maybe their history. And then sometimes you can even merge the two and it's like a beautiful marriage, right? Or it can be an excuse to have two parties instead of one, so you get double the amount of things that you like or the good time or whatever you want to put into play, right? But it also offers exposure to everyone that hasn't been exposed to that type of thing anyway. It gives them extra knowledge, it gives them extra experience, and in some cases it's a good time. So I think merging families can be tough if you're dealing with families who are not open-minded and feel like that their tradition is the only one that matters. Yeah, to you, but if you open yourself up to other traditions and keep yours as important as it is, but also experience someone else's, you never know. Never know what may come out of it as long as you're open to it. So that wraps it up for that chapter. Again, things start to get a little rough now. So make sure that if you haven't already, go ahead and order the book, The McKinnens, on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles. It may still be at Walmart. All these are online. I'm still working on getting them physically there. I may check a couple stores to see if it's there to let you guys know where they are locally. And, again, remember to subscribe, like, tell your friends. Let's open it up for discussion. Let's have these moments. I'm open to setting up any type of McKinnens meeting to where if you want me to come to where you guys are, you have it in a book club and you want the author to come have a talk with you guys have questions, or if you have questions in general, I'm open to that as well. It's time for me to try to open up and expand right now. I want to get things out there. I think it's important. This book can invoke a lot of emotion and mental growth and just discussionary things that expose a lot that needs to be there. So thank you guys for listening. I'll talk to you later, family. Again, like and subscribe, comment. I'm going to thank you guys for joining. I'm going to thank you guys who's always been there. Family's there. I appreciate you guys as well. I'll see you guys next Monday. See you later.